this morning we are observing Holy Mother's birthday celebration. Her actual birthday was last Friday. Generally we observe it on a Sunday. Holy Mother was born in 1853, passed away in 1920. She was married when she was 5 years old, but she went to live with her husband when she was 18, Sri Ramakrishna, in Dakshineshwar. She practiced various kinds of spiritual disciplines in Dakshineshwar as well as her birthplace Chairambati. After Sri Ramakrishna's passing away, she conducted Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual ministry for 34 years. She was the mother of the Ramakrishna order. I always sometimes say God is neither a man nor a woman. God, according to Vedanta, is Satchidananda, existence, consciousness, bliss, absolute. But when God is neither a monk nor a householder, nobody can put any stamp on God. He is infinite. But when God takes a human form, he behaves like a human being. That I am going to tell you. Just exactly as we live in this world, she or he lives in the same way, but at the same time they are different. How? In the Greek mythology, we read about the Jacob's ladder. One part of the ladder is connected with the earth. The other part is connected with heaven. Holding that ladder, you can live in this world. And again you can go up and live in heaven. So you can go back and forth from heaven to earth and earth to heaven, holding this life. That we learn from these people, how to do it. You will always remember, this world is made out of Maya, full of misery. There is no absolute happiness, peace in this world. Krishna says in the Gita, Anittam asukham lokam imam pratyu bhajaswamam. This world is impermanent and full of misery, so worship me. That says Krishna in the Gita. Very interesting life. She was the Divine Mother. As a world teacher, the Mother's every action and words have some deep significance and objects of education for others. Wherever she lived, her all-inclusive love made the place and people her own. She had a special love for her native village. She loved that unsophisticated village life. And she helped those poor people. Her daily life. I met some of her disciples who told us about her divine life as well as human aspect. Early in the morning she would get up. By 3 o'clock she would get up. That was her habit. Then she put the master on the water and meditate and repeat mantra. She would repeat mantra for her disciples, those who did not practice mantra. Then, as a village girl, Parameshwarananda mentioned that the mother would go for bath in the Amoda river and carry puffed rice and fried eggplant or potato in a cloth. After bath, she would eat with her brothers those things like a village girl. It is a scene for meditation that the mother was seated under a tree on the bank of the Amoda river and eating puffed rice. Fancy breakfast was not available in Jarambati. There was no running water or electricity in Jarambati. The mother carried a pitcher on her waist and bring water from Banerjee's tank quite a distance. Kerosene lantern, oil lamp, that was the thing they used in the village. As we mentioned earlier, that all the year round she used one piece of cloth and no blouse or petticoat and no shoes either, no umbrella. During winter she might have used a chador but not warm clothing. She lived like other village people. Nowadays people go to Jarambati, her birthplace, by car, bus or train. In early days, mother traveled on foot, 60 miles one way, barefooted, crossing 4 or 5 rivers. Took 3 days. And some part of that road was infested with robbers. She was attacked once. Of course, later she used various kinds of transport such as bullock cart, palanquin, horse carriage, boat, steamer, train, car. One can visualize the mother walking from Jarambati to Dakshineshwar on foot, covering 60 miles. She carried a small bundle containing a couple of extra clothes and a towel for them bath, some puffed rice in a small cloth bag and molasses. She bathed in the roadside ponds and drank each water. She had a few rupees to buy food on the way and to pay the ferryman to cross the 4 rivers. The meadow of Telobello is blessed by having a touch of the Divine Mother's feet. Grief and lamentation. As we suffer when our dearest ones die, we cry. She cried, just like all of us. At the time she was very humorous. One day Nolini was telling her niece, "And when I shall die, I shall make a will so that you can have everything." Holy Mother said, "When are you going to die? Tell me first." Fear and anger. Like all of us, we have fear. Sometimes we become angry. Fear, she was afraid of ghosts. One day a monk died in Elurmat, so all monks left for cremation. But one brahmachari stayed. And Holy Mother was seated at the threshold of her room, and this monk was seated in the veranda. Then the monk, Holy Mother, was asking, "My son, are you afraid of ghosts?" "Of course not." Why? "Because you are protecting us." "But my son, I am afraid of ghosts." She was very much afraid of surgery. Do you know what happened? She had a big abscess on her foot in Puri, and she had pain. So Swami Premananda planned and brought this doctor with the lancet. And it was planned that mother will sit, she will cover her face, generally she will not see strangers. And the disciple will hold mother's feet, and the doctor cut it and press it, so that that pus and blood can come out and can relieve her. She cried out, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Later on, she realized that for her good, they did all these things. Fear. She was afraid of the dentist. She had some tooth pain. Swami Sharadananda brought a dentist in Udbodhan, but she disappeared. Whole house they searched, they could not find her. So Sharadananda gave the fee to the dentist and said, "I am sorry, we could not find her, you can't go." Later on they found she was lying down under her cot, covering with a chadar so that nobody could see her. Very human. Anger. A village woman was arrested by the British, thinking that she was a revolutionary, and she was pregnant. They forced her to walk to a long distance to the police station. She became very angry. But is it the chivalry of the policeman, or it is the order of the British government? If it is the order of the government, this government will not last long. Modesty and bashfulness. She was the embodiment of modesty. There is a verse in the Mahabharata, Darunam Mriduna Manti, Mriduna Daruna Manti. Mriduna, modesty conquers the cruelty. Modesty is the most powerful weapon. Holy Mother said, bashfulness is an ornament of a woman which enhances her beauty. The mother recalled how the master cautioned her regarding bashfulness. Lakshmi used to imitate the singers and sing, dance before the master. That is Lakshmi, Sri Ramakrishna's niece. Displaying all their gestures, the master said to me, that is her mood. Be careful that you do not lose your modesty trying to follow her example. A woman must protect her chastity at the cost of everything. An unchaste woman is not respected by the society. Regarding fear, the mother did not mean the fear of a robber, tiger, snake, or death. She meant the fear of losing dignity, scandal, and fear of public disgrace. Hunger and thirst, like all of us. She was suffering from malaria for a long time, lost taste. She couldn't eat. So a village woman brought moina kota for her. Do you know what moina kota is? In our part of the country, as we have popcorn, try to imagine it this way. Some popcorn is blown up fully, and some are not. Some roasted, but not fully blown. That undeveloped, that roasted ones, they smash it, they make powder. In that they put some chili, then a little salt, and some spices. That is called moina kota. That she loved to eat. She asked her attendant, I lost taste. Could you bring that thing for me? She put in her mouth and drank some water. Very, very, so we people, we have likes and dislikes. Some people, some food you like, some food you do not like. Very human. Disease and pain are three main diseases. First, malaria. Second, dysentery. Third, rheumatism. These three gave her a lot of problem all through her lives. And how she endured. Amazing. Here's a funny story. During the mother's time, there was no electricity in Udbodhan house. She would use palm leaf fan during summer. The heat wave would develop prickly heat or miliaria, ghamachi. Some pimples come all over the body in summer. She felt terribly uncomfortable. She was considering to apply sandal paste on her body, but that could give her cold. Her disciple Sarojubala suggested her to use talcum powder, which would help her to reduce prickly heat. Although it is a cosmetic item, the mother agreed to use it. The next morning, Saraju sent it, and the mother applied it and got some good result. But not so much itching if you put talcum powder. In the evening, when Saraju came to Udbodhan, the mother said to her, "Look, I used your powder, and the prickly heat has been subsided some areas. Please apply in this area which is aggravated more. Itching also is much reduced." Then mother suggested, if Sharat is also suffering, if somebody could give to her, good to him, it would be nice. Saraju replied, "My goodness, who is going to tell him to use it? It is a luxury item and used by fashionable people." Hearing this, mother laughed. But he's a monk. He would not hear. Mother has very thickly long hair. Every day she would wait her bathe, and she would dry her hair by sun, sitting on the roof. Just not like American women. You have heat, what is called dryer. No dryer. Her favorite food, puffed rice, beguni, small slice of eggplant dipped into batter and fried. That was her favorite. Amrul, spinach, some sour, jhuri bhaja, some kind of fried things, bitter squash curry, some kind of sweets. Various, I gave a list what her likes and dislikes. Pick and childlike behavior. Sometimes she used to make chapati. Suppose 5-6 pounds of flour, they will make dough, and nearly 20-25 people, they will have to make chapati for all of them. And she used to roll, and her knees used to bake. You will have to understand, wooden stove, and here is a iron platter, and then they would. So one day, and her disciples also, Gauri Sharananda, Sharadeshananda, they used to help her. So Nolini said, "Amant, your chapatis are not puffing up flat. Brahma's chapati is good." What? I am an old lady, all through my life I am making chapati, and today you say bad? I shall not make roll anymore. Let Rama do it. Rama is a little boy of the other day, her disciple. She stopped working. Rama said, "Mother, if you do not do, I shall not do either, I am going to leave." Then she had realized that if they do not do, it will not work, so both sat and finished it. Like very childlike. Swami Parameswarananda said, well, in Kualpada, we made a swing. Mother sometimes used to swing. Very childlike behavior. Mother learned swimming. Do you know how she learned swimming? In village, they have a pitcher. The pitcher is empty. They put pitcher upside down, and holding the neck of the pitcher, you float and you paddle with your leg. Then you can move. That is the way I learned swimming. You know. Singer, a storyteller, she could sing. She learned some songs from Sri Ramakrishna and from nursery rhymes, folk rhymes and stories that she used to tell to her nieces and the villagers. She was an expert householder. She could not bear anything waste. The most vital thing needed to make the family life joyful are mutual love and respect, patience and forbearance, detachment and devotion to work, adjustment and forgiveness, selflessness and sympathy, joyfulness and spirituality. These 12 qualities are essential to make a happy home. The mother built her household with all these qualities. As a result, wherever she went, peace and joy prevailed there. She did not, sometimes she didn't like if anybody used any rude words to another person. Never hurt a human soul. Swami Chetanananda recalled, one morning in Jairambati, while the mother was rubbing her body with oil, someone was sweeping the courtyard. After the work was all done, that person threw the broomstick aside. At this the mother said, what is this? You have thrown away the broomsticks with such disrespect when the work is done. It takes only the same length of time to put it gently in a corner as it does to throw it aside. One should not trifle with a thing, though it may be very insignificant. If you respect a thing, the thing also respects you. Will you not again need that broomstick? Besides, it is also a part of this family. From that standpoint also, it deserves to be treated with respect. Even a broomstick should be treated with respect. One should perform even an insignificant work with respect. What a beautiful lesson, I cannot tell you. Human. She used to buy groceries and other stuff when it is in season, so that when it is out of season, it will be more expensive. Whole years, rice, lentil, molasses, all these things she would buy and keep it in her store. Very wise householder. And she would send her disciples to buy groceries from the market, from the wholesale market. Food waste. I put a note here. It is a part of the forthcoming book on Holy Mother. Regarding the waste of food in America, an article was published in the New York Times on 18 February 2008. Americans waste an astounding amount of food, an estimated 27% of the food available for consumption, according to a government study. And it happens at the supermarket, in restaurants and cafeterias, and in your very own kitchen. It works out to about a pound of food every day for every American. In 1897, in one of the few studies of food waste, the Department of Agriculture estimated that 2 years before, 96.4 billion pounds of the 356 billion pounds of edible food in the United States was never eaten. Fresh produce, milk, grain products and sweeteners made up 2/3 of the waste. A devotee sends a basket of fruits to Holy Mother. And the monk took the fruits and threw away on the lane, in the Udbodhan lane. Mother said, "What is this?" She asked her attendant, "Go, bring that basket. It can be used for some other purpose. It is such a beautiful basket." She said, she demonstrated. Main thing in human life is love and feelings. Human beings are akin to beasts without love and feelings. Those two noble qualities make life smooth and joyful. They are built in every human heart in a difference of degrees. That person is great whose love and feelings are focused to others, and thus one can get rid of selfishness, which is a sin. Feeling for others, love for others. Love as cement, which connects human hearts. Loveless life is dull and dreary, boring and tiresome, heavy and burdensome, painful and unpleasant. It is better to have loved and lost than never to love at all. Holy Mother taught how to love all to a little naughty girl who gave a great deal of trouble to her family. She would come with her parents regularly in Udbodhan, and the mother always gave her plenty of sweets to eat. Once Holy Mother was about to leave for Jairambati and said to the little girl, "Darling, you have been visiting me for a long time. Do you love me?" "Yes, I love you very much." "How much?" The girl stretched her arms as wide as she could and said, "That much," like this, "I love you this much." The mother asked, "Will you still love me when I am away at Jairambati?" "Yes, I will love you just the same. I shall not forget you." "How shall I know it? What should I do to make you know?" "I shall be sure of your love for me if you can love everyone at home." "All right, I will love all of them. I will not be naughty anymore." "That is very good. But how shall I know that you will love all equally and not some more or some less?" "What should I do to love all equally?" "Let me tell you how to love all equally." Holy Mother said, "Do not demand anything of those who love. If you make demands, some will give you more and some less. In that case, you will love more those who give you more, and less those who give you less. Thus, your love will not be the same for all. You will not be able to love all impartially." The little girl promised to love all without demanding any return. And indeed, it was reported that from that time her behavior in the family was exemplary. Anyhow, I told you some of the stories of Mother's human aspects. And now there will be worship. Swami Chetanananda will perform the ritual. And you know our format. Then after worship there will be flower offering, food offering, then flower offering, and then we shall serve prasad. Thank you. Swami Chetanananda will now perform the ritual.